Good evening, everybody. It's really nice to see our chambers all filled up. Want to welcome everybody to Tuesday, June 20th. Our normal meetings are actually on Mondays, but in observance of June 19th, which was yesterday, we're having our normal meeting on the 20th. And tomorrow is, by the way, the solstice, just in case you want to know something else. Well, I want to go ahead and call our meeting to order. With the invocation and the pledge led by Councilman.
We are grateful for, appreciate, and use each day that comes before us. For each day's duties and for each day's difficulties, we are challenged to give our best always in service to one another and in service to our community. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Mr. Clerk, can you please call our roll?
Angelou.
Here.
Bowers.
Here.
McGregor.
Here.
Padova.
Here.
Renner.
Here.
Schnetzer. Here. Weaver.
Here.
Excellent, thank you. Item B, additions or corrections to our agenda. Colleagues, do we have anything, any additions or corrections? All right, thank you. Item C, what everybody is probably waiting for, hearing of visitors. We do have, first up, a proclamation by our mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. You might remember back in the fall, or some maybe it was earlier this year, we had the Gahanna Lincoln High School football team. That presented them, I believe council presented them with a resolution for winning a state championship. And tonight we have the Gahanna Lincoln High School girls varsity track and field team. Ladies, if you could join me up here, as well as Coach Whitaker. For those of you who don't know, the girls team just recently won their second straight state championship title.
Wow.
Yep, give them a round. It's hard because, you never know which one I'm supposed to face. So not only that, but it was their 11th, if I'm going to get all this long titles correct, 11th consecutive OCC title, 11th consecutive district title, 9th consecutive regional title. Is that right? And I believe, and I got to cheat, hold on, because there's a lot in here. Second place finish in 2016, 17, and 21, and a third place finish in 2019 state championships. They have quite the record of success, and I believe that all goes to this man at the hiding behind the end, Coach Roger Whitaker, who's been coaching since 1990. So they have achieved incredible success. The work that you do and the consistency of what you do, I think, is just indicative of the level of commitment and hard work that you put in to what you do. You become a source, well, you have been a source of pride for our community, and you just really exemplify everything that Gahanna has, which is hard work, teamwork, and just being an inspiration for all of our residents. So with that, I'm not going to read this because it talks about all the wonderful things that they have accomplished, but I'll just read the last paragraph, that the members of the Gahanna Lincoln track and field team and their coaches have been a source of admiration and pride for our city through their hard work ethic, demonstrated good sportsmanship, and inspired team play. And the city of Gahanna congratulates them, the GLHS athletic department, and all of the people who have supported the team, because we know there's always a mom or a dad or an aunt and uncle, somebody pushing you behind you, for their remarkable accomplishments. And so today is officially Gahanna Lincoln Lions Varsity Girls Track and Field Day in the city of Gahanna. Whoa, congratulations. So here's the part where we'll take a photo up here. Congratulations, congratulations. Who won the 100-meter hurdles, 100 and 300? You did? The meter hurdles? That was, okay, that's.
So
Mayor?
they could- Just a couple of words about this particular program or this particular group of girls. It was a fantastic year. The one thing that I think a lot of people don't see is just the pure joy that they bring to all of our track family and all of our parents and everybody around. The one thing that happens is that our state championship is when school's out, so the school doesn't get to celebrate it until we come back in the fall. And by that time, it's football season again, and everybody's kind of like getting ready for that kind of thing. So I really appreciate these moments. A couple things I want to add is that 90% of the girls who went and competed at the state were academic all high. That's unbelievable. That means that they had a GPA of 3.5 or better. And most of these guys' GPA is 4 points. I just want you guys to know that not only are they extremely talented, they're extremely intelligent young ladies. That's something to be proud of. And I always like to let people know that. The last thing, we had, all of them were just fantastic, but I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but this young lady right here, Camden Bentley, is now a national champion. She just won the national championship on Sunday. The top high school hurdler in the nation. Right. Anyway, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, and hopefully you can bring a lot more joy next year.
Very nice. Thank you. All right, the next part is for members of the public. I do have a stack of speaker slips. And per council rules, when I read your name, I'd like you to come up to the podium and you will have 3 minutes. You will need to state your name and address for the record. Lori Kappas.
I'm not sure how I'm going to follow that. That's so exciting. Yeah, I'll do some hurdles. My name is Lori Kappas, and I'll give my work address, which is 110 Mill Street, Gahanna. Good evening, everyone. I am the executive director of Visit Gahanna and the Creekside Blues and Jazz Festival. I came tonight to offer my gratitude and appreciation for your support of our event, as well as the support from the City of Gahanna and its various departments, most notably the Parks and Recreation and Police Departments. It takes hundreds of people to make the event a success, and we are incredibly thankful for so many individuals that gave their time and talents over the weekend to make it an enjoyable and safe event for all. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to all the community partners and sponsors of the event who made financial and in-kind contributions toward the event. The Creekside Blues and Jazz Festival has a tremendous impact on Gahanna, attracting thousands of people to our wonderful community from over 27 states this year, and close to 100 towns and cities all over Ohio, many of whom were visiting Gahanna for the first time. 11 different Gahanna nonprofit organizations benefited financially from volunteering their time, working admissions and beverage booths during the festival. We had a gorgeous weekend to showcase world-class music performed by local, regional, and national musicians in the beautiful Creekside District. The event featured tasty beverages, utilizing ingredients from Gahanna's own Simple Times mixers, Noble Cut Distillery, and High Bank Distillery. in addition to draft beers from Gahanna's 3 breweries, Edison Brewing, Nostalgia Brewing, and Heart State Brewing. Festival goers also enjoyed tasty cuisine from food vendors and local restaurants. The open-air art studio was once again a big hit, featuring murals created by talented Gahanna and Columbus area artists on display for all to view and enjoy. Gahanna received an incredible amount of publicity leading up to the event, with at least 20 television and radio segments, not to mention countless news articles and mentions. As a thank you to the City Council and staff, and all the volunteers who contributed to the success of the event, some of whom have been volunteering from the beginning 24 years ago. We will be hosting a picnic on Wednesday, July 26th from 5:30 to 7 at the offices of Visit Gahanna at 110 Mill Street across from Creekside Plaza. There will be food, prizes, and games to enjoy. Please join us, and also plan to attend midweek at the Creek and the Gahanna Farmers Market that evening as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, next up is Mr. Matt Robertson.
Good evening. Matt Robertson, 77 Town Street, Gahanna. I'm here tonight to speak in support of the Plant Library project here in Gahanna. This project adds a lot of value to the community, and I believe we all want to be on the same team to ensure its positive impact continues here. The Plant Library operates as a safe central location for Gahanna residents and adjacent communities to drop off plants that otherwise would be discarded. Many members propagate additional plants for the project. The plants are then available for anyone to pick up and use. We have over 3,300 members. 2023 is the 5th season for the Plant Library. In that short time, tens of thousands of dollars worth of plants have passed through the project. These plants beautify the city, increasing property values and providing a crucial access point to the many mental and physical health benefits of recreational gardening. This project lessens the economic barrier to gardening. The Plant Library is an economic driver for the Creekside District as well. According to Gahanna's development team, the Plant Library generates 3,500 unique annual visits that repeat at least twice. The Plant Library attracts visitors from outside our community to come visit. The Plant Library is a project of CAFCO, Creative Assets for Central Ohio, a registered 501c3 nonprofit that has started 2 other plant libraries, one in Marysville, one in Delaware. And we have a long list of other communities who would like a plant library. This organization maintains an insurance policy that removes any liability from the property owners. Tonight, I wanted to come and communicate clearly what the Plant Library is and how it benefits the community, as well as the legal structure that supports it. We would greatly appreciate the support of Gahanna City Council and the administration as we work to find a temporary home for the Plant Library for the rest of the 2023 season and a permanent home for the 2024 season and forward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Kelly Fox.
Thanks, Council. Pleasure to be here. My name's Kelly Fox. My business address is 140 North High Street in Gahanna, in the Creekside area. I'm here as a member of the board of the Gahanna Community Improvement Corporation, or also known as the CIC. And what I wanted to share is just to make sure that there was sort of the correct facts out there, because I think there's a lot of misinformation floating around the plant library and whatnot. As the CIC, we are a separate legal entity, I think, and certainly there's city representation and council representation on our board, But we are separate from the city. We are not part of the city of Gahanna, from a governance perspective, although we are closely aligned in our goals for economic development. As the CIC, we are also a nonprofit organization, and as an entity, we purchased, I think everybody's aware of the fact that the CIC has been working for over 2 years on improving the vitality and the vibrance of the Creekside area. And after numerous attempts to let other developers sort of do this, we kept running into roadblocks, and so we finally made the decision as a board to acquire the properties, the vacant, abandoned, and the blighted properties in Creekside, acquire them so that we would then be able to control the process and work with developers to bring tens of millions of dollars of new development to Creekside. In late December of 2022, we purchased over $5 million worth of property in the Creekside area. One of those parcels includes the vacant car wash where the plant library currently is located. Shortly after that, in February of earlier this year, in February, we reached out, when I say we, Nate Strum, on behalf of the CIC, reached out to Matt because we understood that was the contact for the plant library organization, and suggested to him that if he was going to remain there, that we needed some sort of an agreement in place that would govern their ability to stay on what is now private property, as well as an insurance certificate that named the CIC as an additional insured for liability purposes. We are not aware of any response to that letter that was sent in February. Later on, towards the end of March, we then sent another communication that said, since you did not come forward to put an agreement in place, that we would ask you to remove the property so that we can ready the property for development. At the end of the day, and I've had this conversation personally with Matt, we are not against the plant library. We think it's a great thing. We think it's a great benefit to the community. But we have millions of dollars of the CIC money invested in those properties. We have spent years working with developers to bring tens of millions of dollars of development to Creekside, and all of that is at the goal line, right? So it could be a matter of weeks, or certainly within a matter of months, where that property is going to be, torn down and make way for new development. And so from a CIC perspective, we have to do that for our financial investment. And so we have tried to communicate numerous times that we are willing to work with them. We haven't thrown them to the curb, right? We're willing to work with them, and I know the city has expressed a willingness to work with them to find another location that works, a location that can be more permanent, right? A location that can be more accessible. And in doing so, that will make way for the development in Creekside that will benefit the community as a whole, for sure. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody sort of understood sort of what has transpired over the last 6 months in terms of a transition of ownership of the property, our attempts to try to work out something with the group, and the fact that we have certainly expressed a willingness to work with them and the city to try to find a suitable location. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, I assume this isn't really a council issue, so I assume that you guys are talking and going to continue to talk. Okay. All right, next up is Lori Jocks.
I'm Laurie Jacks, 358 Morgan Lane, and I've lived there since 1996. I'm here to encourage the council to support the plant library in whatever way possible, because it's a tremendous benefit to the city, to the residents, to people in neighboring communities. I'm a big plant swap person. I've been a member of Central Ohio Plant Swap since 2011. I'm one of the coordinators of their spring and fall swaps. But a plant swap requires a particular day and time, and gardeners can have a lot of plants that they need to farm out, give away. doesn't always correspond with the plant swap day, and the plant library fills that need. As someone who had the sparse, dinky little plants 2 feet apart whenever I moved into my first house, it pains me to throw plants onto the compost pile. I would much rather pass those along to people who will be happy to receive them, as I would have been whenever I was a new gardener. And some plants are incredibly prolific. I took more than 150 pots of hellebore seedlings to the plant library last summer. So those went to beautify someone's yard. I'm not going to try to take up my whole 3 minutes, but I understand that there is a higher economic purpose for the property where the plant library is located right now, but if there's any way that the council and the city can support the plant library in obtaining a permanent home, I ask that you do that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the next name I'm probably going to botch, cannot read the last name. Caitlin Thurskew? Thorough. I apologize.
Sorry. I'm Caitlin Thoreau. My address is 4120 Foxglove Lane. I lived in Gahanna for around 5 years. I moved to Gahanna from age of 18 to now I'm 24. And I think that I'm here to support the plant library. The plant library has always been something in the community that Gahanna is an incredibly collaborative community with events like the Jazz and Blues Festival, Friendship Park, Creekside Park. Just the events that go on are amazing. I think that the plant library has been such a staple for, I think, people that are of all age groups, but especially as somebody that's coming and moving into Gahanna and kind of in my young adulthood trying to build a community in an area that's unfamiliar to me. Having a place where I'm just dropping off a plant and I'm running into people and making friends and like talking to people about plants and just being excited. I actually helped Matt build the community garden, and that was just such a big thing for me to be able to like have a kind of like a fingerprint on a part of the, the space. So I found it a very meaningful place to be. In an effort to make the herb capital of Ohio a more beautiful place, I feel like the plant library is a perfect effort of community members giving hours and hours of unpaid time, labor, love in building a community and coming together just in the effort of beautifying their own spaces, passions, and art when you think about it. No matter who like owns where the library is going to be or where, whoever has stake in it, I think if the council could find any way to benefit or keep the plant library in Gahanna and keep it beautiful, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Heather Olds.
Hello, I'm Heather Olds, 270 Flint Ridge Drive. I've been a Gahanna resident for about almost 9 years now. I feel very fortunate to live here. And I'm just here to offer a personal story of impact from the plant library in support of plant library and hoping that we can find a more permanent location. I just want to say also that I've been a social worker for almost 20 years. This is right up my alley. And not only am I here to tell the story of impact, but I'm offering like any support or help that, any community aspect that I can offer. I'm here to help. So anyways, I hate public speaking, but I will say that due to COVID, my family was pretty much in isolation for almost 3 years. So this means we didn't get to go to people's houses. The plant library was a huge positive place place for my children to go. I have a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old who still weekly ask to go to the plant library. My 9-year-old is an emerging artist and loves all the artwork down there. They love to sweep, clean up, drop off plants. And this was like a really wonderful way for my family to live out their values of sharing with the community, connection to the community, just giving back and connecting with others in a safe place. That was also very beautiful. And I just want to say that the artwork that Matt has brought there is truly inspirational, and I know that I have many others from other counties, like friends and family members that have come to Gahanna, not only to see me, but to come to the plant library as well. And again, I'm hoping that you will work with us and find a permanent solution of where we can continue our love for plants and for community. Thank you.
Thank you. Sound like there is something in the works. June Inlow.
Hello, my name is June Inlow, 487 Denwood Drive South. I've been a resident in Gahanna since 1982, where I made Gahanna my home and raised my family. And I'm here to support the plant library and just let you know, as a homeowner, how much I appreciate something free. Okay, you can't, they don't ask for utilities, you know, where it's located now. They bring in their water, so you don't have to worry about water utilities. That may change depending on the new location that could be agreed on, but I personally truly enjoy the plant library, sharing the goods I have, whether it be tangible of extra pots, being able to recycle, reuse, and repurpose. So as a resident, I have used many plants over the years. I'm one of those people that basically am down there at night, and before I leave Creekside, I'll drive in, put my headlights in there so I can see what's there, because you never know what treasure you're going to find. That's the best thing about it, because there is a Facebook post, but I don't always catch it. So the way I do is I go and, you know, check it out and everything. I just wanted you to know just how much, as a resident of Gahanna, my taxes didn't go up because the plant library had to support it, and I really appreciate that. And I do know my neighbors also appreciate the plant library, because they'll cruise through and get things for their yard, and then they share with me. And so anyway, I just want you to know, I hope the council, and in any way possible, could support the plant library, because as I say, it's a very helpful, useful service, and it does bring the community together. There are herbs there, so people now are, you know, planting herbs for, you know, for Gahanna. We are the herb capital, and so let's keep it that way, all right? And but anyway, I wish to thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you. All right, Rachel Gonzalez.
Hello, I'm Rachel Gonzalez, 8333 Havens Road, that's Blacklick. The Gahanna Plant Library was one of the first of 3 physical plant library locations in Central Ohio. It started a few years ago, as Matt said, with the pillars of being generous, building community, and promoting curiosity. All items are strictly free and given from the community to the community at large. It offers a place that makes gardening accessible to all, a place that allows us to warm our hearts by helping others, by sharing a piece of our yard and our home with a neighbor. It's a place to be intrigued by a new plant, and a place to learn about nature in this digital age. I grew up in Gahanna, and trust me, we were not a gardening family. My parents' home is still surrounded by the same invasive Pachysandra that was there 40 years ago. As a high schooler, I started working for Parks and Rec in the horticulture department. I really started enjoying about nature. Fast forward through college and medical career and me returning to the Gahanna area. I currently reside in Blacklick, where my kids attend Blacklick and Lincoln Elementary schools. I found the plant library in passing during COVID times, actually a year before COVID, and was hooked. I quickly found the Gahanna Gardening Group on Facebook and became an admin of the plant library soon after. As an admin, I wanted to share some statistics. We have over 3,000 virtual members. It has grown by nearly 1,000 members in the last 12 months, showing that this wasn't just a COVID phase. Our top membership groups are listed as Columbus as #1, with Gahanna close behind in second. Westerville, Reynoldsburg, and Blacklick residents are nearly tied at third place. So you can see that we impact more than just Gahanna. It is my go-to place to take out-of-town friends, followed by lunch and a walk around Creekside. Honestly, it's been a little hard over this past year to find the motivation to keep the plant library in tip-top shape, knowing that this would be our final year and that all of our hard work would be going into the dumpster at some unknown point of this year. But the community is relentless. I had asked on Facebook for the group to refrain taking items this past week, as we know that there was the clean out. But every time I drive past and see new items that are ready for pickup, that's because this is more than a Facebook group. It's more than an old car wash. This is the start of a community that helps beautify all of Gahanna through its residents' generosity and love of nature. Please consider helping us find a new home through the rest of the year and working with Matt and Kafko for a more permanent solution. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ashton Stein.
He's a little nervous to talk, but you can say, do you want to say? Okay. We love the plant library, and it's been such a joy for us, and we've enjoyed going because it's something where we've dropped off plants and picked up plants, and now our maple tree is like so crazy growing, and my daughter, well, she's over there, Gemma, she's autistic, and she loved making pictures at the plant library, and we just enjoyed all of it, and really hope that that something can be done to make a new one or keep this one. Say, I love. No, say, I love the plant library. Yes. We've loved the plant library and the art and everything, and just think it's just been such a treat for Creekside and Gahanna in general. So, all right.
Thank you. It does take courage to come up to that podium, even though we don't bite, so. All right, so we do have about about a year, a little bit more than a year ago, council, we created a video submission form. It hasn't really been used that much, but we do have 2 submissions via this video form. So the first one is Kathy Tucker of 949 Cordero Lane. And hit play at your leisure.
Hi, my name is Kathy Tucker, and I live at 949 Cordero Lane, Gahanna. I'd like to take a minute to read my statement to you regarding the plant library. I've been enjoying the plant library since its inception. The concept is brilliant, and the effort put into this by Matt Roberson and others is just amazing. The plant library is truly a blessing for the Gahanna community. Our Facebook page has over 3,000 members, and I'm sure thousands of them have personally stopped by to either leave a plant or take a plant home. Personally, the plant library has added so much to my gardening passion. I can't tell you how many times I've bragged about our plant library to others, or even how many times I have told people from other parts of Columbus that I live in Gahanna, and their faces light up and they want to talk about the plant library. I've made countless stops at the plant library through the years. And when my 87-year-old mother is in town, we have to stop at the plant library. Now, because of the plant library, I very carefully thin out my own plants and repot them to give them out at the plant library. I just hate to kill a living plant, and it brings so much joy to be able to share my plants with others in our community. And it is so much fun to stumble upon a new plant to bring home from my own garden. Our plant library has brought the community together. We've been mentioned several times in the media. I would think it's obvious to our city leaders that this is a unique and very positive asset to our community. I ask our city leaders to step up and provide funding and space to have a permanent plant library for our Gahanna community. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. All right, and the second video is from Miss Julia Spain at 8560 Concord Road in Delaware.
Hi, my name is Julie Spain. I am a business owner here in Marysville. I run a law firm, and I am also the individual who, alongside of Matt, helped get the Marysville Plant Library started. I am sending this message to support the Gahanna Plant Library and to tell you about how it introduced me to Gahanna. I found out about the Gahanna Plant Library by Facebook and was instantly intrigued. As you guys probably know, Gahanna is a bit of a drive from Marysville, and the plant library is actually the thing that brought me into the city for the first time. When I was there, I think I stopped, I took a walk along Creekside, grabbed some food, and found a couple of spots in Gahanna that I became really fond of, and I actually continue to go to today. And so, interestingly, I think for me, the library was really my bridge into the city. I continue to shop there. I have someone who I see there about once every 8 weeks for services that I really like. And these are all people that I really never would have met but for the library's existence. The things that drew me to the library are the fact that it's free, it's quirky, there's nothing like it, but the people who are running it have this almost irreplicable hospitality and welcoming attitude that makes it clear that even though this is in Gahanna, that it's there for everybody. It's everybody's space, no exclusions. And I just think that I've seen a lot of businesses. I work with a lot of business owners, and there is really nothing like this space. I wouldn't be a shopper in Gahanna if it weren't for the plant library. And the plant library is the thing that keeps me coming back to your guys' city. I can find a lot of different types of businesses other places, but this feature of this city is so cool. And it's so well represented online, and it's just so great that I think it is a driving force to bring people like me into the city. I'm a member of the Facebook group, and I think that a quick check would show you that a lot of those members are also from outside the city of Gahanna, and we're not just coming in, going to the library, and leaving. And so I would urge City Council to please support this project, support finding a home for this project and keeping it alive. And if there's anything that I can do personally, I absolutely will. I think that Matt, who is running it, is phenomenal. He works very, very well with everybody I've ever seen him interact with. He's a great representative of the city, and I think that the volunteers who are running it are also just really lovely, and they are doing all kinds of good things for the city of Gahanna in terms of representing it outside of the city. So thank you for taking the time to listen to this.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any more speaker slips?
No further.
All right, thank you. Thank you for everybody that came. I really, as you heard from a member of the CIC, I really wish that you guys will work with the CIC and actually keep it. I don't think anybody up here actually disagrees with the value, but work with the CIC and make it happen. All right, thank you. Public hearings, item D. We do have an agenda item, a public hearing. I'll read the rules and then I'll ask the administration if they'd like to comment before we open the hearing. Pursuant to the council rules 9.10 and 9.11, the president of council shall give a brief statement. Well, I did. Prior to the opening of the public hearing, the administration may make a presentation of slides, videos, photos, staff comments, or a combination thereof regarding the application. The public hearing shall be opened with any proponents being allowed 7 minutes, opponents 10 minutes, then 3 minutes for rebuttal by proponents. So 7, 10, and 3. Such times schedule shall prevail unless extended by the president without opposition by a council member. Everyone addressing council will approach the lectern and state their names and address for the record. Madam Mayor, does the administration wish to make any comments or presentations before we open the hearing?
Thank you, Mr. President. I think Director Blackford might just make a quick summary statement. Again, just refreshing where we are, how we got here.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So the item before you, we discussed in detail on May 22nd. Again, it's a multifamily rezoning that really started the process in 2020. It's expanding slightly, going up to 296 units, 16.66 acres. At our last meeting, last week, committee meeting, the applicant was here and they did request that it be passed the ordinance, if you do choose to approve it, pass it with an emergency. The reason that they gave is that there is an additional project that's associated with this request, an office project that has some construction timing issues. So granting the rezoning allows for construction activities to occur here in the next couple of weeks. Staff would be more than happy to answer any questions if you have anything. And we thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, without further ado, the public hearing is now open. I am calling for proponents. Are there any proponents for the ordinance? Okay. Now calling for opponents. Are there any opponents for the zoning request? Wow, people are lining up. All right, again, per our rules, do we have any proponents for a rebuttal? Even a rebuttal to the silence? All right. Public hearing is now closed. Shall read the ordinance into record. Ordinance 45, 2023, an ordinance to amend the official zoning map of the city of Gahanna adapted by ordinance 198-96 on November 19, 1996, and subsequently amended, changing the zoning district of plus or minus 16.666 acres located at 0 Hamilton Road, parcel ID 025013767 from LMFRD and SCPD to LMFRD. I did practice that, by the way. Crescent Woods Apartments, Griffin Caldwell applicant. Do I have a motion to pass said ordinance? So moved. I have a first by, sorry, Ms. Angelou. Do I have a second?
Council President.
Yes.
Point of order, would this the vote come after consent?
Well, I was opening up for discussion and then, because I recognize that we do need to pass an amendment. Oh, I see what you're saying. I jumped the gun, didn't I? Yeah, I'm very excited about this ordinance. So this was actually on second reading for adoption. So what's everybody want to do? You want me to just delay it and go back to our normal scheduled program?
Can we take it out of order?
Whatever you want to do.
You probably shouldn't take it out of order.
Okay.
It's on here.
Then
take-
I withdraw my reading, but we'll save that, just for the record, I've already read it. Item E, consent agenda. Do I have a motion to pass consent agenda as published?
So moved.
Have a first by Ms. Bowers. I have a second by Ms. Angelou. Any comments or discussion? Seeing none. Jeremy, please call the roll.
Bowers.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
Padova.
Yes.
Renner.
Yes.
Schnetzer. Weaver.
Yes.
Angelou.
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda is passed. Item F, ordinances for introduction, first reading, 0049, 2023, an ordinance authorizing a supplemental appropriation, Central Park TIF, and water capital funds for transfers out. And then another ordinance, 50-2023, an ordinance authorizing a supplemental appropriation, general fund for mayor's court contract services. All right, everybody I know is waiting for this. Item G, ordinances for second reading and adoption. I did read already ordinance 45, 2023. Now, I'm asking officially for, is there a motion to pass that ordinance? First by Ms. Angelou.
Second.
A second by Ms. Bowers. Any discussion?
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
I would like to move to amend ordinance 45-2023 to include as follows. In the title of the ordinance, after Griffin Caldwell applicant, include semicolon and declaring an emergency. In the final whereas clause, after the city council has studied and the recommended rezoning application and acted in accordance with city charter and according to law, add semicolon and add the following whereas clause. Whereas the administration recommends passage of the ordinance as an emergency measure immediately necessary for the preservation of public peace, safety, health, and welfare of the city, to wit, the need for employment and housing opportunities for residents and tax revenues from anticipated development to support and improve the infrastructure and general welfare of the city. And then lastly, in section 3, to strike, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect after passage by this council and 30 days after the date of signature of approval by the mayor, and inserting, for the reasons set forth in the preamble, this ordinance is declared an emergency, which shall be in full force and effect immediately upon passage by this council and on date of signature of approval by the mayor.
Second.
We have a first by Mr. Weaver and a second by Ms. Bowers. I don't think any of us are going to actually repeat that. Any discussion?
We made Mr. Weaver do the heavy lift.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Mr. Weaver. All right. Jeremy, please call the roll on this amendment for emergency declaration.
Weaver.
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
McGregor.
Yes.
Padova.
Yes.
Renner.
Yes.
Schnetzer. Angelou.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Now, with that reading, it passed, or now we have to go back?
Now you voted on it as amended.
Okay. So now let's go back to and vote, or is there any additional discussion on this new item that's amended?
I'll make a comment, Mr. President.
Please, Ms. Bowers.
Yes, thank you. I'd just like to thank the applicant and Mr. Canini and Casto
along with the efforts from the Planning Department and the Economic Development Department for all of your hard work. I think this is a great opportunity for us to expand development on an important parcel, and I'm grateful to Casto's work on this, so thank you.
Any other comments, discussion? All right, Jeremy, please call the roll.
Angelou?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
McGregor?
Yes.
Padova?
Yes.
Renner?
Yes.
Schnetzer? Weaver?
Yes.
All right, ordinance passes. Thank you. Thank you. Item H, correspondence and actions. Mr. Clerk.
Nothing this evening.
Thank you. Item 2, council colleagues. Anybody have anything for the good of the order? All right, seeing none. Representatives, item I, Community Improvement Corporation. We did have our semi-annual joint council meeting this morning at 7:30 at the golf course. Couple things were actually discussed, one of which was the issue of the plant library. All the data and such forth you heard this evening as discussed. We just need the operators of the plant library to actually talk and work with the CIC. A couple other items of interest. The planning development team actually talked about a little bit about the Crescent, how that's moving, and that applications are still coming in. They're mainly seeing multifamily and self-storage. And that zoning code updates are coming. Is there anything else, Mr. Weaver, that you'd like to wish to add?
No, thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. I'd like to actually just remind everybody that the meeting minutes, as they were approved, will be published on the GahannaCIC.org. Okay. Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission, MORPC, Ms. Angelou.
Thank you, sir. We had a couple resolutions that were actually solved on June 8th. This is the first time since we've had that particular time that, so I'm here tonight, and I decided that the resolution of 723 authorizing the executive director to enter into agreements with the Ohio Department of Development for the ANI 24 Home Weatherization Assistance Program and to enter into related subcontracts. That was voted on, and of course it passed, and it will be about $3,715,000 for weatherization. A second one was a resolution that was authorizing the executive director to approve a grant agreement between the Ohio Department of Transportation and MORPC for the Mobility Management Program. And that particular program is about $300,000, and it passed as well. I'd also like to talk about, considering that weatherization thing, that Robert Williams, who is the Senior Director of Residential Services at MORPC, came to Gahanna and wanted to work with the senior center. And the mayor and I were both there as he came in and was telling them about the possibilities that people can have to have really wonderful opportunities, home energy efficiency services. You have to be have eligibility for it. He's going to be coming back to the senior center, and I think he's going to be coming back here because I want him to talk to us about the fact of permits. Mr. Blau, did he leave? Permits and the contractor applications. So, and he has a good idea on this, and whether it works or not, we will certainly hope it does. So, and there was another thing today that I went to, and it was the NOPEC Lunch and Learn. It was held at MORPC, and I have these for each one of you to take a look at. It's aggregation, and it was an hour's thing, and we actually had lunch with it too. Lancaster has been using this, and I think Hilliard has also, and so has our neighbors to the south. And it's a really an interesting thing to do. I think it takes a voting. We'd have to have it voted. But I think what we have is an opportunity. Derek Clay and Anthony Jones were part of this today, and Anthony Jones we all know from a long time here from in Gahanna. And I do think that we should potentially take a look at this and see if it will fit us the best way. Other than that, I think that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Convention and Visitors Bureau, Ms. Padova.
Thank you. I think that Lori did a pretty good job summing up Creekside Blues and Jazz Festival here this weekend. So thank you so much for coming and kind of giving us a recap and letting us know how impactful it is on both our city and also the nonprofit groups that help volunteer and that we're able to help support through CBJF. And also thank you to Teresa, who I know the two of you have worked tirelessly all weekend, and I can't believe you're still up and here this evening, so thank you so much. But she gave a very good recap of the festival, so I will not do the same.
Thank you. School Board, Ms. Bowers.
Thank you. Just a brief update again. Congratulations and thank you to the mayor for the proclamation recognizing the GLHS girls track team, who again captured the overall team title at states. I think this is already said, so I won't repeat exactly all their records, but Camden Bentley set a state record in the 100-meter hurdles, and as you heard tonight, is also now a national champion. So congratulations again to Camden Bentley and the rest of the team. On the boys track team, the boys relay, 4x200-meter relay, Wells, Cummings, Pizzico and Shahid earned a state title in that relay this spring. And Brandon Carpico won the Division I state title in singles tennis. So congratulations to the spring sports team athletes for their extraordinary success this season. There is an update, a brief update available on construction projects that are continuing throughout the summer. The Chapel Field Elementary construction is underway, and also on there's also construction progress being made at Middle School East, and I know the residents in that neighborhood are very familiar with the construction going on up there. But all for a good cause. And then going back to sports, some of you may have noticed that the scoreboard is up at GLHS Stadium. So excellent progress underway for the Gahanna-Lincoln sports teams that will be playing on that field. And the high school tennis courts right outside our door here at City Hall are gone, no longer exist, and construction is moving forward well with those projects. That is, I think, all I have for tonight. There is ongoing conversation on a partnership, another partnership meeting between the city and the school district with regard to financial aspects. And so planning is underway to set a date in July. So thank you, Mr. Van Meter, for your work, and I know the mayor's office has also been hard at work on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Item J, official reports. Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And since Ms. Kappas is here, congratulations again to Visit Gahanna on a great weekend with the 24th Annual Creekside Blues and Jazz Festival. It was a weekend of great music. If you were not down there, I think most of you were. Great food, connecting with friends. We saw many residents from the community, and as we heard, obviously welcomed many visitors to town. That event puts Gahanna on the map in so many ways. So again, thanks to Ms. Kappas. I know her board president, Jody Brown-Spivey, is there, Teresa, and the volunteer coordinator, to their entire board of directors, sponsors, volunteers. It was really an incredible weekend for the city. And you cannot do the largest event in the city without actually having a village involved. So with that, I would be remiss if I did not also offer a hearty thank you to the members of our Parks and Recreation team, our Public Service team, our Division of Police, and our partners at Mifflin Township Fire. All of them worked extremely long hours prior to, during, and after the event to make sure that everyone, not only that the event ran smoothly, but that everybody had a safe time. They got there safely, they enjoyed a safe event, and they returned home, and we are incredibly grateful for them. So now, Ms. Kappas, I believe it's on to planning for the milestone 25th anniversary, so can't wait to see what you do next year as well. As we near the end of June, the 4th of July, look, it does, no, it takes that long, doesn't it? Yeah.
Start right away.
She gets 1 week, and then it'll start again. I know how it works. As we near the end of June, July 4th is right around the corner. We look forward to welcoming our residents to the kickoff of the Independence Day celebration, Monday, July 3rd. Of course, we will not have council because hopefully we all will be down at the Gahanna Golf Course celebrating the Independence Day celebration with food, music, and of course fireworks. Gates open at 5 o'clock, food vendors will be on hand, music starts at 5:30, and of course the fireworks will start at 10 o'clock. And then the following morning, we will all wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for the 4th of July parade presented by the Lions Club. That event will kick off at 10:30. I think if you go to Gahanna Lions Club's Facebook page, they have information, or not Facebook page, website. They have information. We also have information on gahanna.gov, and the parade will follow its traditional route as well. Over the last 2 weeks, I had the honor of speaking at the swearing-in ceremony for 20 new firefighters and dispatchers who were welcomed as part of the Mifflin Township Division of Fire. I know Ms. Angelou was there as well. 2 days later, we celebrated the ribbon cutting on a brand new fire station for Mifflin Township Fire. That fire station, the new fire station, is replacing one that was built, I think, in 1971, which is the same year our service complex at Friendship Park was built, just for perspective on that. But it was wonderful to see the work and the input that all the firefighters did in really crafting a modern operation for them that really, I think, it serves the best interests of their health and wellness for the firefighters as they come back and all of the safety measures they've put in place. So we're very grateful for them as well. Last week, of course, MORPC held a discussion meeting on the topic of how libraries enhance local communities. That was held right here. We were really proud of the fact that they chose our new Gahanna branch to hold that meeting. Again, Miss Angela, we've spent a lot of time together, haven't we?
We do, yeah.
I was honored to join.
I wish more people could have come to that because it was really interesting.
It was a very nice discussion,
Yeah,
right. I was pleased to join Executive Director William Murdoch. Miss Angela was there, as well as representatives from the Columbus Metropolitan Library. We each had an opportunity to talk about this particular branch and was really proud to tout exactly what this branch has meant to our community for the last 30 years and how impactful this new branch has been. So I really appreciated the opportunity to show that little jewel off to other people outside of Gahanna as well. Last Monday, the administration presented the first working draft, as you know, to Council of the Capital Improvement Plan. I understand that we had technical difficulties that evening. The event was, our meeting was recorded nonetheless, and it was posted to our YouTube page immediately following last week's council meeting, so it is still there and available to go up and watch. That being said, tomorrow night here in council chambers at 6 p.m., we will hold a town hall meeting on the CIP as well for residents. Kevin Schultz, our director over there, has been planning an exciting and entertaining presentation for residents on the capital improvement plan. But we'll walk through, again, what is a CIP, what is the benefit to residents, what the next steps are as well, have an opportunity for Q&A and to hear input from residents. And it is just really one of several public conversations that will be happening as well. Council is aware that we'll have several public hearings coming up in July as we work toward just fine-tuning that document to present for final adoption, I think at the end of July as well. Keeping in mind that it is also intended to be a living and breathing document, and we expect that to continue to change. Finally, I will note a couple of things. The zoning code, public engagement, I think was referenced. We expect workshops to be scheduled in July. We are working with the outside consultant on that to add some additional public engagement pieces. And we are looking, again, that those should be scheduled maybe mid to late July, so keep an eye on that. And I think next Monday, And then next Wednesday, we'll be discussing facilities. So at council meeting next Monday, we will have members of the MSA team here. They will be coming again because I realize several of you will be absent next Monday, so we're going to arrange to have them come again. But then Wednesday, we'll also be doing a workshop with Planning Commission to show some of the outside renderings of the building, which we'll show to council first on Monday and then to Planning Commission on Wednesday, just to get some input before we go any further in that process. So that project continues to move along. Lots of great things happening, and look forward to continuing the good work we're doing.
All right, thank you. Mr. City Attorney.
You really got to let me start going in front of the mayor. I have nothing else to add.
All right, thank you. Ms. Angelou, so we're now down to council comment, and Ms. Angelou.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, CVB, for the beautiful, wonderful thing that you put together, and I can't imagine so many people. Do we have a count on how many people were there yet? Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you, on that Friday night, I thought it was the most I've ever seen come. And it was really fun to do do all that stuff, and we'd sit for like 2 seconds, and then there would be a bus. So thank you very much for all that exercise. We enjoy it, and I'm sorry, Ray, for your toe. Okay. I'm telling them. And I want to thank the CIC for entertaining us this today at the City Council. It was really, it's always wonderful to watch a wonderful CIC that we have doing such great work. And so that's all I have.
Thank you. Mrs. McGregor.
Thank you. I'm actually on vacation this week, but I came back for this meeting because on June 3rd, I'm having a knee replacement. I'm trying to save July 3rd. July 3rd, I'm having my knee replaced, and I'm trying to save my misses for after that. So I didn't want to miss a meeting before the surgery when I know I'm going to miss at least one probably after. And I will not be in the parade because it's July 3rd, and my husband offered to drive the golf cart to the house, let me roll into the golf cart, take me to the parade, and I told him I was sure the surgeon was not going to allow that. And he assured me that he would not. So, also, the Blues and Jazz Festival was wonderful. We worked at admission gate, and I really appreciate that the veterans are allowed in. My husband's, he's a veteran, and our sons are all in the military. And he was able to pick out veterans who didn't know it was free. And he'd say, hey, do you have prior service? And they'd say yes. And they were so happy that they got in free. Now, they had a spouse or kids with them that they paid for, but they were very appreciative of that benefit. So thank you for doing that for the veterans. And last thing, we've had so many great things with Gahanna Lincoln Athletics this month, but Eastland Vocational has a satellite program at Clark Hall, and it's bioscience. And my granddaughter's a junior, and she and her team placed first in the state, and this morning they left for Dallas for the national competition, and they created some device with it uses a exercise ball. And I don't know, it's a Barbie doll with a little ball, and I don't know exactly what it is, but they're going to Dallas to present that in the national competition. So Gahanna has just a wealth of talented young people, and we should be really proud of all of them. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Bowers.
Yes, thank you. I'll echo my congratulations to all involved with the Creekside Blues and Jazz Festival. Congratulations to you all who are joining us tonight, Lori and Jody and Teresa, for your hard work, and a big thanks to all the volunteers and staff that made it happen. We were very grateful to be able to volunteer. It makes for a really great family event, and it's an opportunity to show our son the importance of service. And he impressed us. He's 6 and was lifting 20-pound bags of ice right alongside his dad. So I think we've got future aqua crew in the works. We'll take Jay's place, Lori.
You might have to fight Ed Leverett for it now.
Yeah. They were right there with Ed. Just to echo a little bit about what Mrs. McGregor mentioned, I also wanted to highlight that children under 11 are free. I think that that is an incredible benefit that the festival has included, in addition to free entry for those with prior service. And it was a great event for my kiddo, and I know Ms. Padova brought her child too, and it was a really wonderful opportunity for them to see and interact with the community and musicians. So thank you for all you did for the kids. I've attached my constituent report for the month of May. A couple highlights, things that were really fun in May. I was able to participate in Lincoln Elementary's Enrichment Day with a lawmaker for a day session in the middle of May, right before school ended. And I also really enjoyed being able to highlight some AAPI, female business owners here in Gahanna. We recognized the owner of Golden Delight Bakery, Gina Vall, and we also recognized Murray Caraway from Worthy Total Fitness. Murray hails from Hawaii and has been in Ohio for the last several years. So that was a lot of fun, being able to highlight and feature those two great business owners here in the community. I also wanted to echo my thanks for those who came out and spoke tonight, everyone who was here, and thanks to members of the Plant Library who helped support the function and operation of the Plant Library, and to the patrons of it. Thank you, too, to the CIC for being part of the dialogue this morning, and then also again tonight. I feel very confident that we are working toward a common goal. One where we can advance important economic development objectives while also recognizing unique assets that we already have here in our community. And so I know that many of us are committed to helping advance and maintain that project here in the community. Finally, thanks to Ms. Angelou for drawing our attention to the NOPEC presentation. I know Council President Renner is very knowledgeable about the issues of renewable energy, and I have been looking forward to learning more about renewable energy aggregation that is trending across the region, and other ways that we can expand the use of renewable energy, if not through that type of initiative, then perhaps through another. And with that, I hope everyone has a happy and safe 4th of July. We'll look forward to seeing you in the parade and at the fireworks. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Padova.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who showed up this evening and sent emails in support of the Plant Library. The batch of emails that we received today were by far the most kind and respectful requests that I've received this far as a council member, which I personally believe is reflective of the effects of gardening therapy. I have no doubt that the Plant Library is definitely an asset to our community, and I think that my colleagues feel pretty much the same. Hearing everyone's stories about planting with the little ones has sounded very similar to how my summer has been going this year, and teaching my little one to care for something and watch it grow has just been the highlight of my summer so far. And as a stay-at-home mom, it's also very important to make sure we're doing that on a budget and reusing things and chopping things in half and splitting them and planting them in other places and using them in other ways. So I really love that whole idea of the Plant Library. And I love especially what one speaker said this evening about using the Plant Library to live out her family values. I just thought that was such a beautiful statement. So I'm very much in favor of moving the Plant Library to another location, and I look forward to seeing it continue to grow. Also, volunteering. I volunteered this weekend at CBJF. It was by far my best CBJF experience so far. My first few years going to the festival, I was working at the Old Bag Nails at the restaurant, so I was, a server or working at beer tubs, or my least favorite, doing the fish fry tent. So it was a very hot day when I was doing that one. So this was definitely my favorite experience so far. And now that I'm lucky enough to volunteer my time, I'm definitely very appreciative of all the work, both paid and unpaid, that goes into the festival. So I'll go ahead and do my first plug for next year right now, that I encourage everyone to mark the date for next year and try to volunteer, because it's a great way to give back to your community. And you see so many people, so many neighbors and friends while you're volunteering, and it's a really great experience. So thank you again to everybody at the CVB for putting on such a great event for us.
Thank you. Mr. Snetzer.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. At the risk of being redundant, I do want to express my gratitude to all those that contributed to the the Creekside Blues and Jazz Festival. I made it down there both for business and pleasure. On Friday night, I saw Ms. Bedova, Mr. Weaver, everybody from the CVB, Mr. Perlman, Director Becker, Director Farrell, Mayor Jadwin, of course, Lieutenant Cohagen, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a few others, but the list is very long. And then we were able to go down as a household on Saturday using our volunteer admission cards, where my young ones went to the Schmitz sausage truck not once but twice. Didn't get their fill quite the first time. But nonetheless, it is, I think, without a doubt, Gahanna's signature event. And I can remember years past where we've had weather that didn't cooperate. I thought the weather this year was great, very mild. So we'll hope that the weather cooperates again next year for the 25th anniversary. That's all from me.
Thank you. Mr. Weaver.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think the risk of being redundant is gone. I will just fully embrace being redundant at this point, and just add my thanks to everyone who made this past weekend possible. A beautiful event, wonderful to see the community out in force. I was down there Friday night. Thanks for slotting me in to work the admissions gate. One of the highlights for me was getting to speak and connect with some of our newer officers who are working on the late shift. Just getting to know them a little bit better and what brought them to Gahanna to continue their service was just a highlight of my evening. So my thanks to those officers for sharing some of their backgrounds with me as well. Thank you to all the residents who joined us this evening, members of the Plant Library, and of course representatives from the CIC. I'm happy to serve as a council appointee. Thank you to the president for his appointing me to the CIC board. Look forward to working as a CIC with representatives from the Plant Library to find a solution for the future. Certainly recognize the community impact and the positive benefits that the Plant Library has. With that, I'll just say a happy belated Father's Day and hope everyone enjoys Happy 4th. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, final comments. I regret hearing, well, I don't regret hearing, I enjoy hearing all my colleagues. This is the first time that I was unable to volunteer at the Blues and Jazz in quite a number of years, and I deeply regret that. But it's always a nice event, and it's always nice to see. And so my hat's off are to everybody who actually, put it on. To the CVB, Teresa, thank you so much for always being the volunteer coordinator. One of the things, though, that my wife and I noticed that usually with the event, especially where we are, we're just, as the crow flies, across the creek from Creekside, and we usually hear the music. This year, we heard nothing. So my hat's off onto the structure and how that was actually done. I don't know how that was done, but we still got to hear the birds. We sat on our deck a little bit late at night, and so we didn't hear anything. That was good. It's interesting because of some disingenuous comments on Facebook from somebody. We had a lot of people pour in from about the plant library, and it was interesting to always hear. It gave us a sneak peek of the comments and how people are connected to the library. We sort of knew it, but it's always a pleasure to hear. As a member of CIC, I've been waiting at the table for a long time for the members, or whoever is the controlling body of the plant library, to come forth and actually make a deal. I hope that maybe, if anything, the public coming forth maybe motivates the plant library administrators to come and get with the CIC. We'll see. But I definitely absolutely understand the value and hope, even though it's a non-issue for council, but I do hope that we do find something with the SCIC to actually to keep that plant library actually going. It was very nice to actually hear the comments tonight from everybody. And it was also a joy to actually see somebody use our video submission form that's actually been out there, spinning on the server, waiting for somebody to use it, so that's always nice. And as I alluded to, this is important to me only because I'm a nerd and a geek, but tomorrow is the summer solstice, and it happens just before 11 o'clock in the morning, so if you're outside and if it does tend to be a sunny day, watch for that. All right, I don't have anything else for the good of the order. Good.
I saw some quizzical looks upon Councilwoman Angelo's comments, and I just wanted to set the record straight.
About your toe?
Friday night, when I parachuted into the festival, I fell and broke my toe. That's what she was referring to.
Well, very cool. That didn't make the newspaper yet.
Sounds a lot better that way.
Okay.
I have a picture.
I have a fish story of that as well, so. All right, thank you and everybody, and good night.